Hello, welcome to the course Distributed and Cloud Computing, one of the most interesting and very important course we have in this semester. We all know that cloud computing is advancing in different directions. Earlier, we used to use cloud only for storing, like Google Drive is one of the examples of cloud, right? Later, we started using cloud for computation, but today we are using or people are using cloud for everything, any activity you perform in software engineering or any application building, everything can be done in the cloud. When we talk about AML, people think cloud has no role in that, but the future is that we all are going to write our or build our ML models, train our ML models and deploy them in the cloud. Because of the computation and storage challenges what we have today for AML, cloud is the solution, right? So it has lot of advances, lot of new features and services are being added in the cloud. It is one of the most emerging technology what we have in the industry today. For example, Amazon AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud. You might have heard about these. You know the demand these three platforms have. There is a lot of requirement of skilled people. If you are skilled in any of these cloud platform, 100% you will get a job, right? It is so important. Almost 60% of today's IT applications what we are seeing, directly or indirectly they are using any of these three platforms, or IBM have their own inbuilt IBM cloud platform which they are not selling or doing business with that, right? So in this course we are going to understand about distributed computing, different paradigms in distributed computing, and one of such paradigms is cloud computing. So we are going to understand what is cloud computing, what is the fundamental concepts or the roots behind this cloud computing in this course, right? So before we go and explore the concepts in cloud computing, let's understand what is the main vision of cloud computing or how we are going to use this cloud computing. Let's see this. So I have a statement here. To understand cloud better, I have a statement here. Let's say I am building a software application. I am building a website like NIT Trichy and I have to host it from my own university, right? Then I have a statement. I don't care where my servers are located, who is managing those servers, where my documents or the database or the data is stored, or where my applications are hosted, right? I just want them to be always available. 24/7 I want my application to be available and up running fine, and I should be able to access them from any device anywhere in the world through the internet, right? So when you are building a software application, right, you just want to write the code and give it and just deploy it. You don't want to worry about what is the underlying infrastructure, like what is the RAM, storage capacity, network, CPU resources, all that network latency or the network bandwidth, everything you are not worried about. You are going to build an application, you are going to deploy it, that's it. And it should be always available, it should be up, and I should be able to access it. Everyone in the world should be able to access that application anywhere in the world through the internet, right? I am ready to pay for that service until I need that, right? So this is one view of understanding of cloud computing. Okay, cloud provides this. You just write your application, build your application and deploy it. You don't worry about the underlying infrastructure, who is managing them, how much data is being stored, where is the data stored, right? All that things you are least worried about. Your job as a developer perspective is to build the application and deploy. It should be available continuously. And since you are providing me the services, taking care of my servers, taking care of my database or my data, right, scaling my application when there is lot of demand, all that since you are taking care, I am ready to pay the money. Okay, so this is the one view of understanding cloud computing, right? Some simple examples to understand cloud. We talk about cloud storage. Earlier, cloud was only used for storage purpose. Today, we are using for both storage and computation, right? So simple examples of cloud storage we use them in our day-to-day life. Google Drive is one. We use this Google Drive to store our documents, edit them, access them anywhere in the world through internet, right? Again, for Apple, Mac, iOS users, you have iCloud, then Dropbox, Google Photos. All these are examples of some simple cloud storage services which we access them, right? But they have some limitation. There is some limit for storing. Beyond the limit, if you go, you have to pay the money. You are aware of that. If your Google Drive storage is high or it's full up to 15 GB, I guess, beyond that you have to pay money for that, right? So simple understanding of cloud storage devices, but we are also using cloud for computation as well. The only reason the existence or the emergence of cloud is two main problems which any software application faces. One is about storage, second is about computation. Where do I store such huge data, and how do I execute or run my machine or run my application for so many long days, and it should be always available, right? So let's understand the vision of cloud computing. See, there are certain questions here. The first one, I need to grow my infrastructure, but I do not know for how long. Let's say you are building a software application, right? You should have some good infrastructure. You should have a good machine, a supercomputer or a good GPU machine with good storage and computation facility. Like you should have good RAM, good hard disk storage, all those things, right? Then you do not know how long you want that. Let's say you are starting a startup company or building some application, you want some 64 GB RAM and some 100 TB storage, let's say, right? You want some 64 GB RAM and 100 TB storage, right? So let's say you purchased it. Since you purchased it and you are not going to use it for a long time, you don't know how long will you use this, then it is waste of spending that much of money in that. Cloud has the solution. Whatever you want, you take. How long you want to use it? 1 week, 1 month, use it. Cloud will provide that. See, I cannot invest in my infrastructure. I just started my business. You want to build an application, but you don't have money. No problem. Cloud will provide you for very, very cheap, very, very less cost. Cloud is very cheap. If you want to host a website for college event, some department event, you can do it for free in some simple cloud platforms like AWS or Azure, because it is free for 6 months, given some limited storage and computation capacity. You can do that, right? I want to focus on application logic and not the maintenance and scalability. Yes, cloud, you can do that. You just write your code, deploy it. You don't worry about the servers, managing, scaling the application, maintaining the application, nothing. Cloud can do that, right? I want to access and edit my documents and photos everywhere. We know cloud storage we are talking about. You can do that. Google Drive is an example, right? So this is one side of that. The other side, you see, I have a surplus infrastructure and I want to rent it. Okay, you purchased earlier 64 GB RAM and 100 TB hard disk, but you are not using it today. You can make a private cloud. You can lend it to somebody else. You can make that cloud public and you can charge money from others. Others can use your resources. This is possible, right? See, I have infrastructure and provide application services. You already have good infrastructure. You have lot of services already made. Applications you already built, you can sell them to others. Others can access your services. This is possible in cloud computing, right? So I hope you understand what is the main vision or the idea behind cloud computing. Okay, this is just a small introduction about cloud computing, though the course is more about distributed computing, service oriented architecture, and then virtualization and cloud computing. Let's understand how is the course divided, right? Distributed and cloud computing. So cloud computing is one of the types of distributed systems or distributed computing. Okay, so initially we are going to study in module 1 about distributed computing, some basics of that. Then one of the most popular styles of distributed systems is SOA, service oriented architecture, web services, microservices. We are going to study about them. And the module 3, we are going to explore about the virtualization. That is the fundamental concept or the root or the core idea behind cloud computing. That is the concept through which cloud has come into picture, right? So one very important concept is virtualization. we are going to study in module 3. Module 4 and 5 focuses more on the fundamental and theoretical concepts of cloud. What are different deployment models, what are different services, service delivery models in cloud, what is cloud computing, all that stuff. How do we pay money to the cloud, right? What are the different schemes of paying money in the cloud? All that we are going to study in module 4 and 5. And the most important part of this course is about exploring different cloud platforms such as AWS, Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud, right? So, in our laboratory, in this course we have a lab. In lab we are going to study more, we are going to explore about AWS and Azure, because almost 90% of the market share is by only these two platforms. So, we are going to explore and do lot of programming and lot of designing and deploying applications, exploring all the services of these two platforms we are going to do in the lab, right. So, the course is divided into different modules. First module, basics of distributed computing, in that there are different types like grid computing, cluster computing and client server model, and one of the types in distributed computing is cloud computing. Then in module 2 we are going to study about SOA and microservices, very important software architecture style, which is again the variation or the outcome of the concepts of distributed systems. And module 3 is about virtualization. 4 and 5 talks about the actual cloud computing concepts. So, I would say there are 3 different parts of this course. First 2 about distributed systems and distributed computing. The second one is about virtualization, and the third part or the phase is about cloud computing, right. So, some textbooks, standard textbooks we have, since there are 3 different parts in the course, we have to refer these 3 textbooks to understand the course better. You can easily download them, download the PDFs in the internet, they are freely available, right. So, this is about the course distributed and cloud computing. Let's try to understand about distributed computing in the next videos. Thank you.